Hi, CIS101. This week, we're covering a really cool topic. It's got a lot of interesting impacts and implications. We're going to talk about virtual reality, and we're going to have a different kind of activity because the think, learn, and do parts are all wrapped into one. But we'll get to that in just a minute. First, I want to know, do you know what this is all about behind me? Like, have you seen this before? Does that ring a bell? Well, a couple of years ago, there was a big snafu. There was a court case, and everybody's meeting in Zoom, of course. And so the lawyer showed up. This is the judge down here in the behind me, this way, that way. Anyhow, you can tell the guy on the bottom is the judge. The guy up at the top is the opposing lawyer. And well, the cat is the other lawyer. So what the heck happened? Well, they're all meeting in super funny video. I'll post it to Discord, but they're meeting in Zoom, of course. And the guy in the bottom corner showed up at a different office and borrowed a computer. He was using the secretary or somebody's computer. Well, it turned out that accidentally, that secretary's daughter, well, probably not accidentally, the daughter was playing around with her mom's computer and forgot to turn something off in Zoom. It was the craziest thing. And the lawyer kind of freaked out a little bit. He realized what was going on and he's like, Your Honor, I'm not a cat. And the judge is like, Yeah, I know you're not a cat. But it was really funny. And they acted very professionally, but the guy in the upper corner, upper side, he was trying really hard not to crack up. Honestly, I don't know if I could have done it. And so the judge actually released the video to show how they're being professional or something. The point is you could show up in Zoom this week just like this, or like anything else if you wanted to. It's kind of like Halloween, but in Zoom for virtual reality. So there'll be some information in Discord about how that works. So I'll quit playing around and I'll get right down to the point. Let me do a screen share and show you how this week is going to work. What you're going to do is you're going to have a slideshow up here. You're going to go through the slides and it's interactive. And so when you get the slides, there's a slide about how it's interactive. And you're going to look for various points along the slideshow where you watch things or do things or submit things. And you're going to keep an eye out for this pencil icon. Now, what I recommend is that you open up a Google document, just name it. You're not going to share it with me. I don't want to see it. You're going to name it VR note-taking doc or whatever works for you. And then as you go along, write up your responses here in this document, because then you're going to submit them to the response form. Don't type things up in the form as you go along. Totally bad idea. Because what if you get a third of the way through and you have to take a break, or it's time to go to school, or the kids need your attention, or whatever, right? And then you close the form. Everything you wrote is gone previously. So write it all up in the document. And then when you get done, take it from the document, send it to the form. So let's go through this a little bit. We'll go through a few slides. I'm not going to go through all of them. There is a big time expectation on this one, but there's no textbook reading this week. And so I would budget 3 to 5 hours on this for sure. By the time you go through these and you watch the videos and you think the thoughts and you look up some things, there's different activities to do along the way. You should consider that this will take you at least 3 to 5 hours. You can let me know at the end. There'll be a question about that. So maybe try to track your time a little bit, because I'm just curious. I'm not going to judge you on that. I'm just curious how long it will take. You're going to jump to the map. So the map is going to tell you where we're going with all of this. So we're going to start with learn, like what is VR and AR, and are they different, or how are they the same? What is that all about? How does it work? And then we're going to jump over to explore, and you're going to get to take trips around the world to places you may never end up going. You might end up going there, but some of them, like anyhow, I'm not going to give it away. You'll have to go look and see what your options are. And you're going to explore YouTube 360 videos. It's pretty interesting how they work, because as the video is running and telling whatever story it's telling, you can actually change the view and look all the way around. It is really interesting. Then we're going to look at real world applications, because virtual reality is for games, right? Like we all know that. But what else can it do? And there's lots of really cool ways that VR is being used for medical purposes, for prison rehabilitation, for lots of other things. Once we've done with that, our next stop is going to be making an impact. There's lots of ways and places that virtual reality is making quite a big difference. And so we'll take a look at that as well. And then finally, of course, we have to hit up the big issues, the ethical issues. So it's really cool that you can play games, and it's super cool that it's being used to help paralyzed people. And there's really innovative, creative ways that it's being used in art and lots of other venues. But are there problems? Like, are there things we should be considering? And so we'll talk about that. As you go along, look for these icons. So here's the video, the watch video icon. This one's the helpful tip icon, the gears. And then the pencil is something to submit to the VR form. So keep an eye out for that. Now, the evaluation, this is worth a lot of points. If you remember, I did say that the last several weeks had a lot of points. For some of you, this is going to be a lifesaver if you really put a lot of effort into this, because some of you really need to pick up some points. For others of you, it'll just be a good way to pad your grade at the end. But there is a possibility to get extra credit, because I'm looking for complete answers with full thoughts to help me understand what you're thinking, what you're learning, what you're considering, all of these good things. But if you go above and beyond the basic responses, if you demonstrate a depth of thought that makes me know that you really dug deep into these topics, there will definitely be bonus points available for that. And so this just breaks down to the different questions and things. Just a word on VR headsets. If you have one, you can probably pull up a lot of the YouTube 360 videos in them. It looks really cool because then you can just like move your head around and look around. So that's kind of fun. If you don't have one, don't even worry about it. You can do it right from your computer screen with your mouse. That's really cool too. So let's jump into one of the sections just to show you how it's set up. So remember, the first part is learn. We're going to find out what VR is all about. But I want you to start off by thinking, like, without even looking anything up, without even watching anything, if someone says virtual reality or augmented reality, what does that mean? What do you think it means? Like, don't worry about an official definition. Just tell me what you think. And then here's this pencil. So that means you should write something down. So come over to your document, type in think, or, however you want to designate that that's the answer that you're responding to. Type in whatever you want to respond there, make a few spaces for the next one, and then come back over here. You'll know if you didn't see the pencil, you'll see this after every question slide, because I want to make sure you don't miss anything. And then again, here's another question slide with a pencil and a big stop sign. So you kind of see how the rhythm works. Let's jump down here, and you can work through these kind of in any way you want, but I kind of recommend going through them in this order. So we have the impact section. That's kind of a weird picture there. And then we have the making an impact 7 categories. So for all 7 of these, you'll watch the video, read the article, or whatever is linked up here. But look at those topics: making an impact, rehabilitation, medical, workplace, conflict, empathy, grief, art. I will say the grief video is a little bit hard to watch because it has to do with recreating a loved one who's passed away in virtual reality so that the ones who are grieving can interact. So if that one hits a little too close to home, you might want to skip it. Maybe read the article if you want. Anyhow, and then we'll have our questions here. When you get down to the bottom, there's a wrapping up, and then there's 2 slides that have all of the resources, all of the links, kind of in a short bibliography. I didn't put them all in citation format on purpose because I want you to, I just wanted to conserve some space. So let me show you one more. On this one, the big issues, there's an article that talks about these 6 domains where there might be problems with virtual reality. And when you click here to read the article, it's a University of Sydney, Australia. And it gives kind of a really nice short, paragraph about these 6 different topics. However, if one of those topics kind of tickles your brain a little bit and you want to know more about it, in this red block box, when you click that box, it's going to open up a pretty lengthy PDF. Don't feel like you got to read the whole thing. Let me see. There's a table of contents here. And it's not linked up. You can't jump, but it'll tell you what page you can go to. So if you want to read more on a particular topic that they hit upon, then by all means open the PDF and jump down and read the space or read the thing. Sorry, public space. Go ahead and read it. So that's how this is going to work. And when you go through and you get all your responses, then you're going to come to the form. And keep in mind, don't share your document with me. That's for your use only, note taking. But the form is something that you will turn in. And there's 7 pages because there's 7 question slides, basically. And so each one will hit each category. And you can go back and forth if you want. So that is how we're going to work this. It's going to be a really kind of curious, interesting week, I think. I think you'll find lots of fun things to discover and to think about. And I don't know, you might end up with an extra pet. Sometimes that's how that works. Or you might end up like a potato. It could be that kind of week. We just did have a big holiday, right? So have fun with this and dig in deep and give me some good responses. Make it interesting for me to read. I am really curious what you think about some of these big topics.